Your rental system comes with a manual, but I'm also including some instructions here. In your box, you will find a Microsoft Surface laptop or tablet, a NeurOptimal Z-amp and sensors, a USB cable, a headphone jack extension cable, conductive paste, and baby wipes. Hi, I'm going to show you how to put the sensors on yourself for an NeurOptimal session. This is called the Z-amp. There are sensors coming out of this that connect to your head and ears. If you're putting this on yourself, it's best to clip the Z-amp to the front of your shirt. There's a little belt clip on the back of it. Just stick it right there so that it's hanging right in front of you and easy to get to. There are 3 sensors for your right side and 2 sensors for your left. You can put these on in any order that you'd like, but I am going to start with the right-hand side. This is the 10-20 paste that you're going to be using to apply the sensors. I like to squirt up about that much to start with. And I will start with the black cord, which will go on my right lower earlobe. So I get about this much. I just scoop a little rounded scoop on each sensor, and then I put it right here. If you're wearing earrings, you can either take them out or you can just put it right next to it. It is important though that the sensors don't touch any metal. Now I'm going to move on to the blue wire for my right side, which is going to go on the top of my ear. So this one goes here. Lots of goo so that once it's on, you've got a nice, the goo, the 10-20 paste is actually peeking out all the way around the sensor. That way you can tell that you've got a nice solid connection. The yellow cords are what go on your scalp. This one, you only need the paste on one side. So about that much paste. And then you're gonna find the midline between your ear and the top of your head and the nose and the back of your head. So it's right about here. Placement isn't, get as close to that spot as you can. It's not a deal breaker if it's not exact, but do your best. So you part your hair, you find your scalp, and you stick that paste right on there so that you've got a nice amount of paste coming out from around it. Now we're going to do the left side, which only has 2 sensors. So again, we scoop the paste onto the sensors, get a nice fat amount, and then we're going to put this on the upper ear. And now we're moving on to the very last sensor, which is the left side scalp. And I just like to run my finger across and kind of pull my hair up so that I can get a good spot where there's not any hair. And then that is where it goes. And then you just let your hair flop down back over the top. So now I've got my Z-amp is connected to me. I've got all my sensors on. Right down here at the bottom of the Z-amp is where you're going to plug in the USB cord that's going to connect this to the system. So that's it. So now that my sensors are all connected and I'm ready to start my session, all I need to do is pick what type of session I want today. Sometimes I choose to relax and kick back in a comfortable chair. Sometimes I even hook myself up while sitting up in my bed and reading a book. Today I'm choosing to set up in my office and work on some website stuff and have this just playing its music in the background and getting myself a little focused brain massage while focusing on something that I really want to accomplish. So here's how you start a session. The system comes with 2 cords. This is the USB cord, and this is the extension for the headphones. You don't have to use headphones, and I actually am not including headphones with my systems for rentals at the moment. Just about everybody has their own earbuds or Beats or whatever it is that you're comfortable using for headphones. The other option is that you can connect to a speaker or even just play the sound right out of the computer like I'm going to today. The first step is to connect the Z-amp to the computer. So this USB cord is going to plug in right here. I always do it upside down the very first time I try to put it in. Then you're going to plug the other end of the USB cord into the Z-amp. The slot is right down here on the bottom. You can plug the headphones directly into this jack right here, or you can use the extender that came with your system if you're planning on sitting a little further away from the system and need some flexibility and space. Okay, now that I'm all hooked up and ready to go, I'm going to show you how to boot up the system. Turned on the computer. I'm going to come down here to this icon that matches this is the NeurOptimal logo. It also shows up down here in the taskbar where the program is. So double tap on that little head down there and give the system some time to boot up. If the program is not already open and running, it can take a little bit of time for this to load. So just be patient and wait until all of the windows open up. All right, so once that matrix mirror window disappears, we know that everything is ready to roll. Let me show you the different windows that come up once this is ready. This here is the vault. This is where your clients will be listed. You can add as many clients who are in your household and are going to be using the system during your rental. This is the window that starts and stops sessions. This is the G-Force window, which plays this kind of cool slideshow in the background if that's something that you're into watching during your session. It's not necessary, so you can minimize it or do whatever's comfortable for you. Media Center is another cool feature that I'm not actually going to go into today, so go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to minimize this now also. And now we have our main 2 windows that we need to be working with. I'm already in the system, but I'm going to show you really quickly how to set up a new user. Hover over the word client and double tap on the pad. I'm going to enter Matt in here also. First and last name. His birthday was the 1st of April, just a few days ago. And we click OK. So now he pops up here as a user who's ready to start a session. I'm going to use mine though. And once I'm all set up and ready to go, all I need to do is double tap on my name. Just to explain, for this session, I've decided not to have any headphones plugged in. Again, the jack is right here if you're looking for a really focused session where all you're hearing is the music and the skips, which you'll hear here in a second. That's kind of an example. But it also works great just coming right out of the computer, or if you have an external speaker that you want to connect to via Bluetooth, that is also a great option, just as long as the music is the main thing that you're hearing during your session, so that your brain can hear the skips that you'll be hearing. So to start a session, Once you're all settled in your spot, just double tap on the name of the person who is using it. You'll hear a little click happen in the Z amp that's hanging on you as it connects, and then the music starts. This matrix mirror right here is not a window that you need to pay attention to. This is just kind of showing what's happening in the back end for NeurOptimal as it's scanning different frequencies in the brain. So I minimize that one. If you want to be watching the G-Force slideshow during, or the laser light show during your session, you can maximize this screen and have it be what you're watching. There was a skip. Those are the skips that are the actual feedback, the auditory feedback for your central nervous system. You don't need to pay attention to those skips. You don't need to worry if there are more or less of them each session. It's going to be different every single time because we're always in a different space. And NeurOptimal meets us wherever we are at the moment. If you need to get to the screens that are now behind this one, you just come down here and hover over that little head again and bring one forward. There's a nice little countdown right here too in this window if you're curious about how much time you have left. And if you are doing a work session, where as I'm going to be today working on my website and marketing, I just have this playing next to me as I work on my other computer. And if I were to want to, if I'm really into it and I'm looking for more like an hour of time to focus and get things done, once this session is over, this will just shut down itself, and you can just double click your name again from the vault and start it right back up again and do 2 sessions in a row. It's not recommended that anyone do more than 2 sessions a day, and it certainly isn't necessary to train every day. Just pay attention to your own system and how you're feeling, and follow your own intuition and your own insides on how you're feeling and how much you think this is helping you. And if you think you need a break, or if you're really liking doing it every day, you can use it as much as you'd like. Like I said, no more than 2 sessions per day per person. But if you're renting a system and you have it at home, do it as much as you can. I mean, it really is something that the more you use it, the more the effects will become what your brain starts to do all by itself, which is to be more present and be more aware of how it's responding to what's happening around you. And this just gives it an opportunity to focus on itself and how it's functioning. And the more we provide the opportunity for that to happen, the more it just starts to happen on its own, because our systems kind of get back in sync with themselves and can get back to self-regulating and rolling with whatever it is that we have coming at us. Now I'm going to show you how to take the sensors off. It's really nice if you can do your sessions before you're going to take a shower, and then you don't have to really worry too much about leaving any paste in your hair or ears or whatever. I mean, that's best case scenario. Do this before you're going to give yourself a scrub. But if you're doing this midday and you want to actually get the goo out of your hair and not be noticing it, you are going to want to do it like this. So I'll go ahead and start with this one up here in my hair, since these are kind of the trickiest sometimes to get out without leaving anything. And I'll show you my technique is to grab this cord and to gently lift and shake it as you pull it off, so that you pull off most of the paste on the sensor. Then you're going to use your wipes that are included with your system, and you're going to clean that off. Then you can go back in here and pull out any little remnants. Give a little scrub stir right there, and very good. Same with these. It's kind of best if you give them a little wiggle as they come off, because again, if you get the most of the paste off on the sensor, it's going to be easy cleanup. So I pull the paste off the sensor with the wipe, and then I go back in here with obviously a clean part of the wipe and get everything off. Same goes for this one. A little wiggle action. Wipe off the paste. I do use alcohol on these to sanitize them between clients, but the wipes are just fine for cleaning, and in fact it's less corrosive and a little bit better for the sensors. Make sure they air dry before you pack them up and put them away anywhere. Yeah, so this side, I'm gonna do the wiggle. This one got a little more stuck in there. It's okay though. Sometimes you gotta get in there and kind of get if it's stuck, just do your best. And with this one, a little wiggle action. And then you can unclip this from your shirt, and you're done.